Okay, I know this is quite a controversial statement I just made, but hear me out for a moment. Reason why I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a complete waste of potential because of these main factors. The ability to rob banks. Yes, I'm aware we have modders as it is actively in the community creating really good mods just to simulate this, and I'm also aware that they were on a quite tight budget as it is. But that is quite a understatement comparing how much they already put into the game, the details in terms of the graphics, the water effects and the mud effects, and the anatomy of some certain animals. But still, there is no reason why they couldn't at least add it as a DLC in terms of adding it to the base game. I'm aware it could get quite competitive, like for example GTA 5 Online, where you could rob banks. I'm aware it gets extremely repetitive, but you know, they could at least done that. Building houses or ranches. Aware we have already quite a peek about what was the potential of us doing it with John Marston and the epilogue. Spoilers for anyone that hasn't played the game yet. Well, the game has been out for 8 years, but I quite like the concept of the robbing the bank, having your own ranch, building just fences, just the overall old cowboy-esque feeling style. It makes the characters extremely grounded and makes me love them even more. But not just that, just even having your own place just to store your horses instead of just going into the fence where you would just buy and purchase and store horses. And that's another thing I really disliked, is that you run out of storage extremely quick stowing all those horses. What they could have done with that system, each branch is different. For example, one branch has 8 stalls and the other one has 4, the other one has maybe 5. They could have just differentiated it instead of just keeping it the same all over each fence. Because I had experienced countless times where I have to decide to sell my Black Arabian horse, despite the fact I can always repurchase it. But that's not the thing. I want to keep all my horses in one area. I hate the fact that you have to sacrifice a lot in the game just to have your own little luxury. And not just that, there are some horses out there that you can tame, but if you accidentally come across a situation where your horse is left dying, fending for its life, when you forgot to purchase some revives from the health clinic.
Yep. It's gonna be okay.
But I guess this is what makes the game quite memorable and makes quite funny moments in terms of just having it. Alright, this section is quite controversial because I'm aware we can already rob trains, but the issue with robbing trains is that you can die extremely quick. I'm aware there's methods where you could put the train in a certain tunnel and the heat can die down in terms of being wanted, but that also leaves another issue. I hate that you have to always do that. It cannot never be simple. I wish they kind of put like a mechanic where you could hire groups of the gang like John and Javier just to come with you, or Childs, just to have even more good memories of the game. I really liked the sequences in the story where you did rob the train as a gang. That was quite cool, where you have to get the oil rig, oil tanks just to put it in front of the tracks. And I'm aware you can have little encounters now and again with the gang if you're quite lucky enough to experience such a scenario. But those type of scenarios are extremely rare. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Man to find, Arthur.
Hello, Charles.
Been tracking you for days. And Dutch was worried.
I've been, well, I'm fine as you can see.
Yeah, so I see. You coming back to camp?
Soon. I promise.
Like, I wish there was more. Like, maybe they should have put a section where, for example, in Far Cry 6, you can go on a leaderboard and you can select types of characters to go on a certain mission, even though you won't be present in that. But they should have implemented that type of system where you could hire your gang members to come with you on a train robbery or a bank robbery. But then again, I'm aware it may ruin the story and it may overcomplicate things. but still, it was a really good idea I think they should have implemented. Obviously, the reasoning to why they didn't do this is mainly down to budget and just directors just saying no, it would be a waste of money and just resources. Completely understandable, but just food for thought, I guess. Last part of this video, and I'm sure you guys would definitely agree with me on this one. Unfinished areas. I'm sure most of you, and I mean most of you by now, since the game has been over 8 years now, have seen clips of people doing glitches just to get outside the map. There was a section, as hopefully I could put in the video, as you can see. There was a section where it's really wide open, it looks really cool, like the old timey westerner cowboy movies. That clearly was a part of the game, was going to be, but obviously due to the time constraint and the game nearly releasing, I'm sure they had some issues resolving and fixing something, so that's why they had to cut it out completely. But still, I don't know why they kept it in there. They should just at least, got rid of it. They could have made the game a bit more faster maybe, or maybe not so chunky in terms of storage.
This is all I got. What more do you want from me?
Okay, I know I said in the last part that was going to be the last part, but I just remember what they should have done in the Red Dead Redemption 2 game. The ability to play as Jack Marston. I'm aware in Red Dead Redemption 1, after John Marston dies, and obviously first Red Dead Redemption was a continuation from Arthur, even though that game came out years before Red Dead Redemption 2. Still would have been really cool just to add a remastered version of Red Dead Redemption 1 playing as Jack at the end of John Marston. I believe it would have been a really good chance just to make that entire scene again. John Marston dying, Jack Marston being the son that goes after those people that wronged John Marston. Because as you can see, they literally put all the old assets in the new game as it is, so they could at least added that part where we would be able to play as Jack Marston. But I also just realised if they were to do that, they would have made the game 10 times more longer as it shouldn't be. And clearly the game was evolved around Arthur Morgan instead of John Marston, family bloodline. It would have been also cool if they could show more on how John Marston's wife died from the illness that wasn't really disclosed. It would have been cool if they just would have delved in more deeper. But what are you guys' thoughts? Do you agree with my selection and opinions? Comment your thoughts below, because honestly I would like to read you guys' comments and share some new ideas. Thanks for watching.